Also, Chinese communist regime, Chinese government is very bad. They locked down China for 30 years from 1949 to 1979. China actually was stopped for the development. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. After Second World War, Japan was defeated. Germany is defeated. But Germany and Japan, they become the second largest economy and the third largest economy in just 20 years after Second World War finished. But how about China? China is a winning country. They win the Second World War. But China, after 30 years, since 1949 to 1979, they're still poorest countries. That belong to the Chinese Communist Party, locked down China for 30 years, nothing changed. And I tell you that in the 1960s, there is 18 million people were starved to die in China because they take the food from the mother's mouth, take food from children's mouth, and they send the food to the Soviet Union. They pay back the Soviet Union debt. Can you imagine that in your countries, if your government owe money to the United States, your government owe money to France government, can your Keir Starmer or your government take the food from your children's mouth and to pay back the United States debt? That's never happened in the democratic countries, but that happened in the communist country. In 1960s, there is 18 million people were starved to die. 18 million people starved to die. Those people is bigger than your whole population. Your population is 70 million. China, in only 3 years, 1960, 1961, and 1962, 3 years, 18 million people disappeared, died. Can you imagine that? In China, that happened. Communist regime, they treat people like animals. They never treat people, they never respect the people, the human rights. They treat people like animals. Today, they use your label. Tomorrow, they use your organ. One day, they need the money, they need the food, they need to pay back the Soviet Union debt. They let you die because they don't give you food. That's why you should help China to overturn Chinese communist regime. One day, they will take over your government. Today, they already take over your government. You're already very dangerous today. You should understand. Yeah. Hello.